Good afternoon. Welcome to our 7th daily media briefing leading up to the November 5th election. I'm Al Schmidt, Secretary of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Before I begin today's remarks, I want to urge anyone who still hasn't yet returned their mail ballot to not put it in the mail at this point, but to take it to your county election office or a county-designated drop-off location, such as a drop box. You can find a list of county ballot return locations at vote.pa.gov. Remember, your county elections office must receive your completed mail ballot by 8 p.m. this Tuesday, Election Day. Today, I'd like to talk about voters' rights at the polls. If you're voting for the first time in Pennsylvania, or you're voting for the first time in a new precinct, you must show proof of identification. That ID can include your state driver's license or other state or federal issued ID or a passport, U.S. passport, or other approved form of identification. You can find a list of acceptable forms of identification at vote.pa.gov. If you're a first-time voter and did not bring ID to the polls, you can request to vote by provisional ballot as well. If you've moved within Pennsylvania but didn't update your address on your voter registration before the deadline, you may also vote at your previous precinct one last time, and you're in the poll book. Yesterday, I spoke about what to do if you requested your mail ballot but now want or need to vote in person instead. Please remember, if you successfully voted by mail, you are not eligible to vote in person on Election Day. There is no need. You've already voted. But let's say you've applied for a mail ballot, received it, and haven't returned it to your county board of elections by Election Day. In that case, you have two options. You can complete that mail ballot and return it to your county board of elections by 8 p.m. on Election Day. Or you can take your mail ballot packet, including the outer return envelope, to your polling place on Election Day and turn it in to be voided by the precinct election board. Then you'll be able to vote on your county's voting system that day. Let's say you didn't ever receive your mail ballot or don't have it. If that's the case, you can still go to your polling place on Election Day and vote by a provisional paper ballot. You have the right to assistance at the polling place, including language and literacy assistance. You also have the right to refuse assistance. During my briefing on Friday, I spoke about people serving in different types of roles on the election board and the polling place, and I mentioned poll watchers. If you recall, poll watchers are the people who've been appointed by a political campaign or party and have been certified in advance by your county to observe voting in your polling place. Poll watchers may not speak directly to voters, but they may challenge a voter's right to cast a ballot by filing an objection to the judge of elections. Poll watchers may lodge good faith challenges based on only two factors: the voter's identity or the voter's residence within that district. When I say identity, what I mean is that the challenge must be that the person there to vote is not the voter they say they are. Challenges may not be lodged based on race or national origin or appearance or language or religion or anything like that. If you are subject to a poll watcher's challenge, the judge of elections will walk you through what you need to do to verify your information to cast your ballot. Most importantly, all registered voters have the right to cast their ballot without encountering intimidation or harassment or discrimination. If you see or experience any of that at your polling place, report it immediately to your judge of elections. I also recommend you contact your county's election office or district attorney's office, or you can call the Pennsylvania Department of State's voter hotline at 877-VOTES-PA. And now I'll answer some additional questions we received from the media. We've been asked many times if you can expect to know the results of the election on Tuesday. I want to remind everyone that counting millions of ballots takes time. And predicting exactly when Pennsylvania will have unofficial results that show a clear winner just isn't possible. Ultimately, it always and has always come down to how close an election is. It always has. The closer the race, the longer it takes to know who won and who lost. In Pennsylvania or any other state. We've also been asked about the issue in Lancaster County concerning potentially fraudulent voter registration applications. I want to stress that these are not ballots that were cast, but rather applications to register to vote. The Pennsylvania Department of State has been in touch with the county from the very beginning to provide guidance to them as they conduct their review, and will continue to support them as needed. Ultimately, the county elections offices and law enforcement agencies will determine whether any criminal activity has taken place or not. When cases like this occur, this should give us confidence in the safeguards built into our election process, not undermine confidence in them. Lancaster County did what all counties do when they encounter potentially illegitimate voter registration applications. They're identified, they're investigated, and they're referred to law enforcement when appropriate. Thank you for your time today. We appreciate the media's efforts to get accurate information to the public. I'll be back tomorrow again at 1 p.m. for our 8th daily media briefing to answer more of your questions. Thank you.